Welcome, Virgo. Welcome to Virgo Sun, Moon, and Rising, June 2020 Tarot reading. So I'm going to begin, try not to use my hands too much, but I'm going to begin with the Two of Cups. And this card is the influences that are affecting the situation in the month of June. So your focus here is on relationships, your choices. What does your heart want? Deep feelings. I feel this has something to do with a union or what it is that you want to manifest in your life in regards to love. What is the physical union of it? What is the affinity of it? What can you do to assist this? For example, some of you who are single, what can you do to assist or support your dreams, your desires? Also, to some of you who have met others or with your significant other, is what can you do to make this relationship grow, to express more of your love and your physical and spiritual union. It's also a card to me that represents reunions, reconciliations, feeling happy, feeling pleasure, feeling joy. The next card I want to read is the Three of Pentacles. This is what crosses you. And it's the obstacles that may stand in your way. I will read this two different ways. The disappointments of it is you can't seem to communicate with someone that you really want to talk to, or externalize your ideas. But I will tell you, this will pass. I feel like it has a lot to do with the energies that we've all been going through, all the chaos that's been happening in the world. Disharmony, miscommunications. But I do feel like this will pass. And also, too, Venus is retrograde. And it goes direct. I do believe the end of June or July. So what you've learned under the Venus retrograde is important, because it was created to be a retrograde so that you could evaluate your desires, your needs. What type of support are you getting? What type of person or personality, mind, body, soul, are you attracted to or you would want to experience in your life? The next card I want to read is the World card. And even though this is the card that is above you, that crowns you, it's what you can achieve in this situation. But for me, it's moving out of the dark into the light. And what guidance can you utilize to guide you, assist you, support you in this situation? So we've got the World. And the guidance here, I'm going to give you both the mundane and the spiritual. So the mundane part of this is, what are your obsessions? What are you preoccupied with in regards to the past? And what has hindered you in the past that has left you unable to accomplish what you're setting out to accomplish in anything? Okay, so again, it's your obsession or what you're preoccupied with in the past that's hindered your ability to see what is really going on within yourself and your environment. But no matter how bound you may be feeling right now, You can still break free of this. Facts can change. Now, the spiritual side of the World card is your key to liberation is to be found in the path to inner peace. And so therefore, transcending your choices or results, peace, your inner peace, your higher self, the universe, are here to work with you to finding your path to inner peace and transcending your choices or your results. And the success of this card is you will be successful in your dealings with others, whether it be a social situation, whether it be in groups, or even a single situation. You will realize that you have a new method of operating your spiritual vehicle and make things work a lot easier. In other words, giving up the struggles, and that you are no longer struggles. I want to read the Temperance card here. This is like what's beneath you. This is like a Celtic cross, but I do my own layout, okay? This is what I'm comfortable with reading cards. So we have the Temperance. This is what's beneath you. This is what the past has given you to use. It's the foundation or basis of your situation. So I read it two ways. Foundation, we look at as home. I know we're going to read something in regards to the home and the environment, but here, this is about your foundation. And what is foundation? It's your home. Some of you might feel as if you're going to be tested, and you might feel pressure from feeling tested. And under this pressure, you're going to try to understand, or at least rise above the events that are happening around you, or within you, or just in your immediate environment. In addition to your home, you need to be careful of your appliances. You might find out that you have a short in your air conditioning unit, or you may have already this going on, or you may find out that your toaster decides to burn out, or your microwave gives out, or your refrigerator goes on the fritz. And I feel like this has a lot to do with Mercury retrograde. This also is the Sagittarius card. So this might have something to do with a Sagittarian or the energy of Jupiter. Maybe your travel plans get canceled. Maybe there's an event that you were really looking forward to going to, hoping that things were going to reopen, and then boom, in June, it gets canceled. You will also, how do I want to put this? I feel positive changes here, as long as you can look beyond your limitations. I feel like you need spiritual encouragement in the month of June. I don't feel like you should just look for your friends or classes or whatever you're doing. I feel like this is more deep within you, that you need to spiritually encourage yourself. Now, I'm going to go to the Hierophant. This is what's behind you. It's like the recent past or influences passing out of the situation. But remember, it's still an important card because it's something that you've already experienced, or you may still be experiencing. And it's the Hierophant. And in this particular position, what's behind you, what's passing, it's endings. But don't look at endings as being negative. Everything ends and begins again. It's always a death, rebirth, and transformation in life. It's how life is. It's how nature is. So here we have the Hierophant, and it's regarding complications that you may have experienced or are still experiencing regarding certain unbalanced or incorrect work methods or programs. And they haven't, maybe you're ending something with school. So let's look at this positive, that you can now begin to use what you've learned in school. Or maybe you've taken some programs and they haven't served its justice. Maybe you were in a job or even a relationship and it wasn't working. But what's good here is the possibilities of merging with others, or merging in a business adventure, or maybe I should say venture there, or personal matters. But it's about the possibility of merging rather than feeling complicated or separated from methods that you're using or just the way you perceive things. Okay, so I want to go now to the Tower, which is before you. This is about the immediate future. This is what's in front of you. This is the influence passing into the situation. Not out of the situation, but into the situation. And these are beginnings. So I feel for a lot of you Virgos, you're going to be working on new projects. Something maybe you thought at times is a loss, or it has been a loss for you. Now it recovers. And it also too, I feel like you will recover a lot of things that you thought were impossible or weren't going to happen. And suddenly you found them. And you're reinstating them. It could even be a love affair. Remember I said when I was reading the Two of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, this could be a reconciliation of a love that you had in the past, that it didn't work out then, but it has opportunities to work now for you. Tower, to me, is not always a negative card. It's a transformation card that's different than the Death card. It's something that happens suddenly. But you want to take what I've read in combination. Some of you, I feel, need to watch your finances. Some of you need to watch how you invest your finances so that you're able to come out with more money. Because I've got a couple Pentacles here on the table, which I'm going to read. So, I'm laying it out to be put together here. So we've got the Four of Pentacles. And that here, the Four of Pentacles represents your significator, your position and attitude in this situation. So in the month of June, because that's what we're talking about here. And so the forces here that can work in your favor is to focus on work. Focus on the success and financial security of it. And if it's not financially secure, if it's not working out, then it's time to make those changes. And you've got the World here to guide you. You've got the Tower here to guide you. It's finding a space haven, finding a safe space in your own environment, making the effort energetically that counts, and not letting things go to waste or even wanting things to go to waste. Now, the next card is the Eight of Wands. It is your house. It's your environment card. It's the circumstances and immediate friends that influence the situation. The eighth card is always the environment card, always the house of your home, your environment, your friends, your lovers, your family. So here with the friends, there may be something that you may feel like you've made a mistake about. There may be an unpleasant occurrence that will arise with a friend over something that was either misrepresented or misunderstood. Mercury retrograde in June. Your home here is, I feel like there's a lot of activity. But in this activity, there are a lot of messages. You might find yourself busy in June, receiving more phone calls than you normally do. Or maybe you're online than you normally are. Or maybe you receive an abundance amount of emails, some of them good, some of them not so good. You might find yourself more out and about, being away from home rather than all the time you spend at home. You may have this desire to, even though this is a fire card, you may have the desire, which is fire, to be more by water. Some of you might want to move by water to help balance some of the fire, even though you're not a fire sign, but I'm looking at the Eight of Wands here, just to balance things out. You may have a desire to either move, relocate, or even live by water. The family energy of this card is, I feel like you will hear some good news from a relative or a very close friend who's like family to you. It could be related to a court case, a lawsuit. It could be related to even winning money, or just they've advanced in somehow. And they want to include you because they love you. They care for you. And also too, I feel you will soon be spending time, not necessarily in your home, but in the home of another friend, or maybe you'll invite a friend in to stay with you, or maybe they'll stay with you a short period of time. Or this could be even with a family member. Now, the information I just got here in from Spirit is some of you need to be careful of who you're inviting in your home, because we're going back now to friends with a possible unpleasant occurrence that may arise with this friend over something that was either mispresented or misunderstood. Maybe this friend, or maybe it's a friend that's not respecting your home the way you thought it would be, or maybe you're in that friend's home and they're not respecting or valuing your friendship, or maybe whoever's staying with you, whether it be a family member or friend, is not respecting your home that you've opened up for them. Okay, so that's something that you want to be aware of, because you don't want to put yourself in another place. Because remember, I spoke about being in a good, sacred, safe space in your home. So you don't want to put yourself into a situation like a burden, because your next card here is your Eight of Swords. And this is the position of the hopes and fears of the situation. So I'm going to read it two ways. The anxiety of it is you may worry that you're in a negative or bad luck cycle. Okay, some of you might be superstitious and think, oh my God, I just did something and now I'm experiencing bad luck. I'm getting my karma back from this. Or you might be wishing that this karma go back on someone else. And so with this particular fear or hopes, let's talk about the fear first. You might be hesitant to do anything new, because you might be afraid it's going to be hoaxed or tainted. Now that's the anxiety. That's the negative way of looking at it. Now let's look at the positive way. You want to get out of an oppressive situation, whether it be work, relationship, or a toxic family member or friend, but you want to get out of the situation. You want to change the present moment, and you can do that. Now, You've got the Five of Swords as your final card, which in this position, the Five of Swords, is your outcome. This is the card that is the final result of the situation. So here with the Five of Swords, the outcome will be how do I want to word this, Spirit? You will succeed in some areas, but not in others. And while you make it some of the things that you want, it may not be the way you want it. So there's a conquest and a defeat here. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for being here, and I wish all of you love and blessings.